All right, guys, welcome to PilatesStrong. My name is Lorraine. We're gonna use the ankle weights today. So if you've never used ankle weights before, you can still totally do this without ankle weights, or you can go and get a pair. They're usually pretty light. You can get heavier ones like these if you want. I don't prefer the ones with the sandbags. So those ones where you can take out those little sandbags, I don't recommend those. They don't feel very, they're just kind of hard to work with. They like swing around a lot. So anyways, I have these ankle weights, so pick a weight or no weight. We're gonna start off on our hands and knees today. So one ankle weight on each ankle. You can always put two on one if you would like more. We're gonna start off with a diagonal leg kick. So you're gonna take that left leg up and you're gonna kick it kind of up and to a diagonal. So it's kind of like in, a little bit of donkey kick and then kind of up and back. So we're gonna play a little bit with our angles today. And so just kind of starting off, working through our hamstring and also our butt and, you know, just kind of waking up those muscles. So I love these like kind of old school 80s kinds of workouts because they still work. So I still do them. And I know the first time I ever saw this kind of exercise, I was like, that is so dumb. It looks ridiculous. But then I did it and I was like, okay, well, first of all, I couldn't do this with weight when I first started. So that's why I believe in this so much if you just practice. Oh, that was a really bad one. So lifting, reaching, kicking. So we're gonna be here for about another 20 seconds. Both sides, you're gonna feel both sides firing up here and that's pretty normal. I probably should have cinched my ankle weight tighter, but that's okay. And then of course, if you want, get a little more stability work, take that opposite arm forwards. And that always kind of gives you a little bit more of a challenge. You got about 5 seconds here, and then we're gonna hold a straight leg. So you can kind of see it's kind of like a lift up and a back. You do not have to straighten your knee here. If you're hypermobile, I would suggest not straightening it all the way. But if you wanna work your flexibility, go and straighten it. Now hold it here, okay? Try to keep those hips square like you've got a glass of water. You're gonna point your toe, you're gonna reach down, tap, lift. So I want a little bit of power on the way up here for this set. And the power comes from the leg and the core stability. It does not come from your back. So if you find that you're doing this and your low back is bothering you, go less high. That is such a great way to modify this. Good. So we're just kind of lifting up, squeezing, and down. And this is really nice burner here. Good. We're gonna go about 30 seconds here still. I'm just kind of working through. So another thing too is if your wrist bothers you, feel free to come down onto your forearms. I actually really like this. It's a great modification to kind of save those wrists. It's weird though, I see that a lot of people actually prefer on their hands because I think maybe it gives them more space for lifting their leg. I'm not really sure why that is, but last 3, 2, hold it there. Now slowly bend that leg back in, okay? You're gonna take your leg out to like a little fire hydrant here. So you kind of do want it to be at a nice angle to the side. So we're gonna lift up to the side and down. And lifting and squeezing. And you're gonna try to move that whole leg as one unit because the tendency is to like do weird things like this. Well, we want the whole leg to come up. So this like angle never really changes, right? It's all about that angle to target those glute muscles. This is such a nice one for the side of the butt. And then also, you know, over time, really, instead of leaning to the side to do this, think about really squaring off that hip and keeping that right knee under that right hip, right? So keep going here. We have about 20 seconds here. 20 seconds left. And I also suggest a nice, oopsies, that was really bad too. Nice cushy surface so that your knee that's down is, you know, not bothering you and it's not on a hard surface, especially because you have weight on your leg. Good. Now you're just gonna hold and you're gonna do little pulses up and down. They're small, and again, that leg has to move as a unit here because what you're trying to do is you're trying to get like the thigh and the butt working. And by doing that, and also by keeping that knee close, like at this like angle here, you're also gonna feel that muffin top engage. So keep pulsing, last 3, 2, and then release. Awesome, okay. So now go ahead and lay on your right side. And I would suggest, You know what, for today, let's do it in a mermaid position just to kind of work a little bit into our sides. So you're gonna be in this nice tall mermaid position. You're gonna just lift that top leg up and down. And again, it's not about the height with this one. It's about keeping the top of that hip long. So it's not about pulling, it's not about this, right? Keep it long, reach it out. It's all about the length. We want those long, lean muscles. And really, the whole point of that is muscles like that are just more functional. And then, whatever, I guess people like that look too, so that's kind of a nice bonus, right? But more so, it's the functionality of those muscles. Nice, long, flexible, but strong muscles is what you want, and your body will feel so much better with that. Okay, we've got it. You're gonna really, by the way, feel your thigh here. This is why I like this particular one. What I find is without the weight, it's a little more into the glutes, but with the weight, it's a little more into the thigh, which is just kind of nice. I know people have been asking about how do you, slim down the thighs, and simple moves like this, with or without the weight, are really good for that. So keep going. You got about 10 more seconds here, lifting up and down. And your toes are relatively pointed forwards here. Good. If you need to take a break, take it, because I'm telling you, this is gonna burn. Just because I'm talking doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Last 4, 3, 2, now just kind of hang out here for a second. You're gonna drop your toe down and you're gonna make like a little rainbow shape, just like you would in a classical Pilates, and just try to keep that hip as square as possible. So almost like you've got like a little bit of a dowel kind of going through the top of that hip. So we're just gonna keep going with this little rainbow. So I'm tapping with my toe, I'm lifting up and over. If you find that this kind of hurts the front of the hip too much, either bend your knee or just remove the weight, because it's gonna be hard. I have a pretty heavy weight on right now, and so just kind of be mindful of that until you build the strength. Last 3, 2, now hold. Okay, so now your toe is turned down. You're just gonna hold it, 4, 3, 2, and then release. Awesome job. Those are not easy. They're very, very sneaky, okay? So now let's go over to the other side, and we're going to start with the right leg now. So we're gonna go out to those sort of diagonal donkey kicks. So we're gonna start off on our hands or your forearms. You're gonna lift up, squeeze, slowly lower. Good, exhale up, lift, squeeze, slowly lower. So again, it's like that nice, it's not a true up and down, it's like a kind of a press back, kind of, there's a machine at the gym that I feel like does this, but it's like been so long since I've used machines at gyms that I've forgotten the name of it. But if you've done that machine, you know what I'm talking about. It's got like a plate and you literally push back, and that's kind of how it works your glute. But you know what? When you have the ankle weight, it's, in my opinion, better, because you get to work that stability in the leg versus being on a fixed plane, which is exactly why I don't work out on machines. Gosh, I think it's been almost 6 years, 5, 6 years since I've used machines at the gym. Huh, amazing. Not to say that you can't use it, obviously use it if that's your thing, but for me, I feel like I really gain strength and body awareness through these kinds of things. So there we go. Finding that resistance when you come in. It's a lot of hamstring and a lot of butt, and I love it because it's not just butt, it's like legs. This whole thing is gonna be legs. Good, about 15 seconds here. Then you'll hold that leg straight. Good. One side will feel a lot stronger maybe than the other. Mine over time has become so much more balanced, so it's kind of nice. I don't lean into one side more than the other usually. Good. Last 5, 4, 3, 2. Now hold that leg straight. Slowly lower down, tap, and lift. And I'm just gonna go ahead and go on my forearms here. And exhale, lift. Just keep that toe pointed for this one. I know sometimes I don't care, but for this, the way this one flows and kind of what I'm aiming to reach, which is the whole leg, I'd like a pointed toe here. Because again, I'm trying to get all the angles. And then you can always peek and look at your toe. A lot of toes will turn out. Keep that toe like dead on towards the ground, right? We don't want it turned out. We've got about 30 seconds here. And then we got our fire hydrants coming up. So a little bit of power on that lift. So a little bit of like a lift. A little bit of speed to get up and resistance to go down. Good. You're gonna feel that both sides are engaged. When you point your toe down, you'll feel sort of the inner part of that hamstring working a little bit more. Good. 10 seconds. And then we're gonna go to our fire hydrant, which is gonna help to target those obliques because of the angle of that leg being kind of straight out versus out on diagonal. 3, 2, now release that, bring that knee in, and then just kind of fire hydrant it out. And this is really challenging because a lot of times I'll have you straighten your opposite arm. That gives you better range of motion. But this one, I'm really wanting you to challenge your flexibility, I would say. Your flexibility, your ability to sort of maintain an isolation of that leg while keeping the pelvis sort of squared off. Good. Keep it moving. Straight. Really just working through, strengthening those legs, strengthening the thighs, both sides. Can you believe how well both sides work with this? So both sides will work better if you have an ankle weight on each leg. But again, if you want more weight, you can always put 2 weights on one ankle. It'll just feel different on the stability leg. So the leg that's not moving is also working. Good, about 5 more seconds here. And then we'll hold, we'll pulse. Good, you guys feel how when you do it close, like the knee closer to your shoulder, you can really feel that oblique fire. It's kind of awesome, right? Good, up and down. 4, 3, 2, now hold little teeny pulses. Good. These ones are shorter. Keep it going. About 15 more seconds here. Stay in it. Good. Working that whole leg as one unit. 4, 3, 2, and then release. Awesome job. So now you're gonna come in that mermaid position on your left side. Your hands are down. Your legs are long. These exercises, right? Looks so easy. And just lift and lower. So usually when I'm doing any side lying leg series, which is very classical, traditional kind of Pilates, it's weird because I know how well it works, but there's times where I'm like, oh, that looks so boring. I don't want to do it. But then I get into it and like 20 seconds in, I'm like, oh my God, this is killer. So, you know, just know that it's almost counterintuitive how some of this works because you don't have to like kill yourself to make it work. And the body, I feel like, likes that more versus just like pounding and doing all this crazy stuff. I feel like long-term it's good. Keep it moving. So there's kind of a little bit of a flex in the foot here. Sometimes I'll say have a soft foot, but for today I want a nice flexed foot because that's gonna kind of help drive to that outer thigh a little bit more. And it's really a nice feeling. Good. We got about 20 seconds and then we have our upside down rainbows. Wait, no, they're right side up rainbows. Ha, that's so funny. Upside down U? Yeah, that's more like it. There we go. Oh, me and my jokes. Okay, 3, 2, hold. Now you're gonna tap that toe down and then you're gonna sort of do this little rainbow shape. So you're kind of tapping forwards and you're gonna feel that kind of rotation through the hip. And of course, if it's too much, guys, I'm gonna give you some advice with the ankle weights. If it's ever too much in the hip, you take off those ankle weights. You do not push yourself. You do it only when it feels like it's in the right spot. You don't really want to feel it in the wrong spots, right? Good, we got about 20 seconds here. Really feeling kind of like that beautiful movement through the leg. And then really think about using even like the kind of side of that thigh and hamstring a little bit to sort of help so it's not just your glutes, right? Lifting and lowering. 3, 2, now hold it. 4, 3, 2, and then release. Hard, surprisingly hard. Okay, so now we're gonna lay down on our belly. And this is kind of a nice, lovely set after doing all of those other ones. And I'm gonna have you start off with a little frog press. So you're gonna put the soles of your feet together and your knees will go wide. And I kind of like doing this after the sets we did, because it's almost like a little bit of a stretch, okay? Now from here, just push the soles of your feet together, okay? And you're gonna slowly lower the legs down, and then you're gonna lift. And you're gonna go nice and slow and really try to feel the activation through the back of those legs, okay? So you're slowly lowering only as far as your legs will allow you to. You don't wanna force this. You squeeze the feet together. If you don't squeeze the feet together, it's not gonna feel hard. You wanna squeeze those feet together. And you're gonna feel sort of exactly where the inner part of your thigh meets your butt. It's gonna be working that. And that is such a hard area to target. So that's a great way to target this. So let's just kind of keep going with this. It's a nice controlled movement. And if you want to make it harder, don't come all the way up. Like keep the leg kind of weighted so that you're not straight up and down. Good. Got about 15 seconds here before we kind of add on to this. Now this weight is so heavy for a lot of ankle weight stuff, and I've kind of built into it. And so again, I always say pick the right weight. So this next exercise is going to be really challenging for me. Okay, last one. So now you're going to hang out here. You're going to pick up the thighs and lower, okay? So when you pick up your thighs, you might feel like a little bit of the knees coming in, and that's fine. I kind of like that versus trying to keep the knees wide just for this first part, because I'm kind of wanting to stay on that inner part of the thigh muscles in the butt. So I want like I don't know if you guys can see in the camera, when I lift right here, I'm kind of squeezing in and then opening and lowering. Good. Squeezing. Feels really nice, this one. Hard, but nice. Okay, we're gonna go for about another 35 seconds here. So just kind of get comfortable. Try not to rest too much at the bottom. We're gonna pick it up here for the last like 25 seconds. I want kind of like a little up and down, but with control. Up and down. You'll also notice that shoulders like to come up with this, so try not to have any excessive shoulder movement. Try to keep that soft, and try not to like drop down like I was the last couple. I want a nice controlled down. And then see if one butt cheek is working more than the other, or one thigh. And if it is, start to sort of maybe push more with that leg so that it evens it out. I get a lot of people who always have a hard time firing one side, so that's a good tip. Good. You got one more. Hold. Hold it. 3, 2, release. Take those legs super long. Okay. So now I'm going to give you a couple options here. You can just kind of keep your head down here if you want, or you can kind of come up on this one. It really depends on your low back. What I want you to watch for is that you're not overusing your low back and that you're in your abdominals, because we're going to pick up our feet. Okay. So you're going to pick up your legs. You're going to try to hover those legs off the ground. I've still got my weights on, so this is really hard. And I'm going to pulse the legs in. Little beats. Beat, beat, beat. 5, 4, 3, 2, hold. You can always do this without the weight. Hold it there. Now you're going to do little lifts. Up and down. Up and down. So you don't have to get the thighs off here. It's almost like a little bit of a mini hamstring curl. You're just really trying to get the shins off and hovering and kind of moving through that knee joint, right? So we're not on this one, we're just kind of moving through the knee joint a little bit, like we're bending at the knee to lift the weight and lowering. Good. Last 4. Good. Keep the heels squeezing together. So my heels are together, toes are apart. It's like the classical Pilates move. Good. Last 1. Hold it. So here, my legs are slightly bent. I've weighted. It's heavy, right? It's hard. My knees are still on the mat, but I'm kind of almost picking the thighs off a little bit, not a whole lot. And just kind of hang out here. 4, 3, 2, long. We're gonna go back to those feet. Ready? Beat, 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 beat. So for this, I kind of want the thighs off here if you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, back to the hamstring curl. We've got 2 more sets of this, okay? This is our second set. We got, so 2 more, including this one, I should say. Little mini hamstring curl. So my toes are turned out. I can feel like the back of those knee muscles working. It's really nice. It's almost like therapy. Feels really good. Keep it going. Really trying to focus on your form here. Good. Really pay attention to the side that doesn't want to fire. Really important there. This isn't just us trying to move around. We're really trying to pay attention to what's going on in our body. Last 3, 2, good. Now you're gonna go back to that hover, lifting up those thighs just a little bit. I know it's hard to see because of the carpet, but mine are, it's like a sheet of paper could slide under them. Keep holding, keep squeezing. 4, 3, 2, back to your beats. This is where my thighs are actually off. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold, back to those hamstring curls. This is so killer, you guys. Can I just tell you, you might be sore from this because it's a lot. And if you're not sore from this, either A, you're just extremely strong, but like no one ever teaches this, so I'd be surprised, or you're not doing it right. And if that's the case, you know, put a comment and let me know. Good. 15 seconds here. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then release. How hard is that? It's so hard, okay? So last exercise, you're gonna bend, actually let's start with the left leg. So you're gonna bend the left leg, okay? By the way, I'm only lifting my head so I can talk to you guys. For most of you, I want your head down the whole time. So the next time you do this video, that's what I want. You're gonna just kind of lift that leg up, hold it. Okay, lower it down a little bit and lift. So now we're just kind of finishing off trying to get a little more into that butt cheek, a little more kind of into that glute. And your right leg is pressing kind of down, I guess, to stabilize you so that you can isolate that movement in that left leg. Good, keep it going. If you want to make it harder, take that leg, take that shin a little bit further from the leg, and that's going to get, make it a little bit harder because your lever's longer. You can go as low as you want here for this one. Good. Up, down. 15 seconds here, you're going to hold, you're going to pulse. So I'm never fully resting on the floor, I'm just kind of like hovering. Good. 5, such a nice burn. 4, takes a while to get this one kind of fired up. 3, 2, hold, little pulse, pulse, pulse. 20 seconds pulsing. You there? You got it. I like to feel things when I work out, you know? 10 seconds. Trying to keep stable with that leg so it's not rocking around. 3, 2, hold. Lift it a little higher, squeeze it a little tighter. 4, 3, 2, release. Other side. Okay? So you're gonna lift that leg up and down. And I don't know if you can see from the camera, but my thigh is a little bit higher on this one. Because my other leg is down, I can anchor a little bit better to lift the leg up high. You always want to be really careful again when you're using ankle weight. So if something doesn't feel right, you just back off or don't do it. The other set that we just did before this, you can totally take off your weights and do it. I kind of would recommend that if what we just did was too hard. But just lifting and lowering. And again, keep that leg out a little bit longer if you want to make it harder. Finding those glute muscles. Don't forget your left leg is kind of pressing down to help stabilize you. We got about 25 seconds here. And then we got our pulses. Don't give up on me. Focus on the breathing. This gets your heart rate up surprisingly. It makes you sweat too. 4, 3, 2, hold, little pulse. Pulse, pulse, 20 seconds pulsing, and then you get a little child's pose. You're almost there, don't give up. Pulse it out, just think of that booty getting stronger and tighter and lifted. 10 seconds. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, hold, 3, 2, and then release. Oh, all done. So take a nice little child's pose here. What a great set. You can do another booty workout if you want. There's another one I have called booty, back, and thighs or something like that. It also uses the ankle weights. Or pick like an abs video, like strong flow abs. It's really fun. Or the oblique burner if you want some obliques. So just kind of stretch this out. Take your arms nice and long. Breathe. And if you like this, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And awesome job.